For years, astronauts have shared stories of strange sounds and lights aboard the International Space Station. The official explanation? Things like micrometeoroids and simple thermal stress. But what if the real story is a whole lot more chilling? 250 miles above our heads, a city of science glides through the silent darkness. The International Space Station, or ISS, is one of the most incredible things humanity has ever built, a testament to our wild ambition to reach for the stars. It's a lab, an observatory, and a home. But for the handful of people who've lived inside its metal walls, it's also a place of intense isolation, a place where just a few inches of titanium separate you from the vast, empty unknown. And for decades, those who have dared to go there have brought back stories, not just of breathtaking beauty, but of things that defy easy explanation. Flickering lights in the void, phantom signals, and noises that just have no business being there. Official logs are filled with these unsettling moments, usually dismissed as technical glitches or tricks of the mind. But when you start to piece them together, a pattern emerges. A story that suggests the crew of the ISS might not be as alone as they think. Today, we're opening the case files on the station's most disturbing phenomena to ask a terrifying question. Is the International Space Station haunted? In the summer of 2024, astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams were on an extended stay aboard the ISS. Their ride, the new Boeing Starliner capsule, had run into some thruster problems after docking. Then, something weird happened. A strange noise started coming from the speaker in the Starliner. It wasn't static. It wasn't the station's usual hum. Wilmore grabbed a phone to let Mission Control hear it. What Houston heard was bizarre. They called it a pulsating noise, almost like a sonar ping. Now, NASA quickly figured out the sound was just a feedback loop in the complex audio system between the station and the capsule. But the incident echoed a more famous and far more unsettling event.
Back in 2003, Yang Liwei, China's first astronaut, was orbiting the Earth all alone when he heard it. He said it sounded like someone knocking the body of the spaceship just as knocking an iron bucket with a wooden hammer. Frozen, he looked through the porthole, scanning the outside of his Shenzhou 5 capsule. He saw nothing. In his official report, he said the sound came from neither outside nor inside the spaceship. The experience was so powerful that after he got home, he tried to recreate the sound for technicians, but he never could.
The official scientific explanation is a phenomenon called thermal stress. As the station whips from Earth's freezing shadow into the blistering heat of the sun, its metal skin expands and contracts, causing groans, pings, and pops. Think of it like an old house settling at night. A perfectly rational explanation. But here's the detail that doesn't quite fit. Yang Liwei was a veteran test pilot, trained to recognize every single creak of his machine. He was adamant the sound he heard wasn't just the ship settling. It sounded intentional, like a knock. And he wasn't the last one to hear it. Astronauts on later Chinese missions in 2005 and 2008 reported the exact same inexplicable knocking from the void. Was it all just the metal popping, or was something out there, trying to get their attention? If you think the mysteries of space are as fascinating as we do, you should probably subscribe. We're just getting started, and the story is only going to get weirder. It's one thing to hear a noise you can't explain. It's another thing entirely to see something. In 2005, astronaut Leroy Chiao was outside the ISS on a spacewalk, floating in the abyss, tethered to the station by a lifeline. Your senses are on high alert. Your life literally depends on it. Suddenly, Chiao froze. Streaking past the station below him were 5 brilliant points of light, flying in a perfect line, what he called an echelon formation.
His heart leaped into his throat. He immediately called his Russian crewmate, but the other astronaut was facing the wrong way and missed it. In his report to Mission Control, Chiao made his shock clear, stating, "I saw some really weird stuff down there." For a guy trained to stay cool under extreme pressure, it was a moment of pure, unadulterated shock.
This is far from a one-off event. Since the Apollo missions, astronauts have reported seeing strange flashes of light, sometimes even with their eyes closed. More recently, in 2020, a Russian cosmonaut on the ISS tweeted a time-lapse video of an aurora. In it, 5 mysterious lights appear, flying in formation. He jokingly called them space guests.
Of course, science has an answer for most of this. The flashes of light are often explained as high-energy cosmic rays from deep space physically zapping an astronaut's retina or optic nerve, creating a phantom flash. And Leroy Chiao's incredible formation of lights. Years later, analysts figured out he most likely saw the super bright lights from a fleet of commercial squid fishing boats arranged in a line off the coast of South America. The Earth's rotation created the illusion that they were flying in formation.
Case closed, right? But the explanation, as neat as it is, doesn't fully erase the experience. Chiao, a seasoned observer, has since said he accepts the fishing boat theory, but his initial reaction was that it was clearly not a natural phenomenon. Do cosmic rays explain away the unsettling feeling of seeing something that shouldn't be there? For every official explanation, a nagging detail keeps the mystery alive.
So, we have phantom noises that sound like knocking, and we have eerie lights that look like they're flying in formation. The official reports call them audio feedback and fishing boats. But what if they aren't just random, unrelated events? What if they're pieces of a single, much spookier puzzle? To explore this, we have to go back to the darkest days of the Cold War and the frantic space race. The official history books are full of heroes: Gagarin, Armstrong, Leonov. But for decades, a chilling conspiracy theory has persisted, that of the lost cosmonauts. The theory claims that the Soviet Union launched secret missions before Yuri Gagarin's famous flight, and that these missions ended in disaster. Cosmonauts who burned up on re-entry, overshot their trajectory and were lost to deep space, or simply died in orbit. Their very existence, the legend says, was scrubbed from the history books to project an image of Soviet perfection. Now, these stories are totally unproven, and there's no credible evidence to back them up. But they lead to a powerful and disturbing thought experiment. If a soul were to perish in the cold, silent emptiness of space, where would it go? What if a spirit, lost in the void decades ago, found itself drawn to the only outpost of warmth and life for millions of miles? Suddenly, the evidence takes on a new, terrifying meaning. The sound isn't the station's metal groaning, it's a knock, a lonely, repeated request from someone who can't get in. The strange lights aren't just fishing boats, they're a spectral patrol, a ghostly formation reenacting its final tragic flight path across the heavens. Pulsating sonar pings from a troubled spacecraft, hammer-like knocks on a capsule hull, unexplained formations of light seen during a dangerous spacewalk. For every single one of these events, there is a plausible, scientific explanation: audio interference, thermal expansion, cosmic rays, fishing boats. These are the answers you'll find in the official reports. They're logical, they're grounded, and they are almost certainly correct. And yet, the stories persist. The personal, human accounts from the astronauts themselves, the shock in Leroy Chiao's voice, the confusion of Yang Liwei remind us that there's a big difference between a data point and an experience. These aren't just instrument readings. They're chilling encounters that happen to real people in the most isolated place imaginable. The line between a technical glitch and a ghostly encounter gets terrifyingly thin when you're 250,000 miles from home. I saw some really weird stuff down there. Leroy Chiao. It came from neither outside nor inside the spaceship. Yang Liwei. So, what do you believe? Are these just technical gremlins and clever misinterpretations, a string of coincidences our brains have stitched into a ghost story? Or is the International Space Station playing host to a lonely spirit, a lost pioneer from the dawn of the space age, forever haunting the halls of humanity's only home in the stars? You decide. What do you think is making these strange sounds and lights in space? Let us know your theories down in the comments. And for more deep dives into the universe's greatest unsolved mysteries, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching.